Miles Railroad, and our Torch Lake locomotive. For your safety, you must be seated at all times while the train is in motion. Remember, there's no eating or drinking stuff or water while on board. Thank you.
There's no drinking or eating. See you in Canada.
Comes from the Tidewater Basin of Maryland.
Alright, see you in Canada.
Stood ahead of a 700-acre tobacco plantation. Red house here on the left. The Plimpton family home is the oldest American building in the village, built in 1643 in West Sudbury, Massachusetts. The Plimpton building. Farmhouse at the end of the lane, Daggett Farmhouse, built in 1754 in West Andover, Connecticut. Stop back, ladies inside, love company. I'll show you around inside now. Tell you about the chores you're doing, you're ready to walk around the raised garden. And how you house, you're growing plants back there, food, medicine,
I did not know that guy, so don't think I know that guy.
Our train today, the Torch Lake was built in 1873 in the copper mining business in the upper peninsula of Michigan. Torch Lake is one of 3 coal-fired steam power locomotives that operate trains here on the railroad. In its distinction of being continuously operating steam locomotive in the country. If you'd like to learn more about the steam locomotives that are railroading, make sure you pay a visit to the Roundhouse today, located at our next stop, Smith Street Depot. Folks, as we travel through the wooded area, I invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride through the woods. Check out some of the early fall arrivals on view out here in the woods. Firemen up in the camp.
Whoa, check it out now. Yeah, coming off the side of the train. Right there.
Coming out of the woods out of Walnut Grove, the partners will do some various activities throughout our program here. Folks, this coming weekend, September 6th and 7th, our Open Car Festival. This is the last hurrah here at Greenville Village for the summer. We've got over 9 million cars that will be parked all over the village, grouped by their build dates, and some very interesting owners of these cars and their stories to tell, I'm sure. We've got special events going on all day Saturday and Sunday. And we're going to have special late hours on Saturday. We're open until 9 o'clock that night. Get out here and enjoy some of the festivities surrounding the field right here at Greenville Village. This coming Saturday and Sunday, September 6th and 7th. We're now entering the main campus of the Henry Ford Academy. High school around the grounds, joint venture between County Regional Services and body of water on the lake. This is Swanee Lagoon, a natural catch basin for floodwater and rainwater runoff. Chapel on the left, a non-denominational church, site of many weddings, spring, summer, and fall in the village. The chapel was named for Henry Ford's mother and mother-in-law, Mary Ford and across from the chapel, the Taste of History restaurant. They're open now, serving beverages and snacks. You might be able to find a late lunch over there too. We're now entering our Railroad Junction district and we'll be stopping shortly at Smith Street Depot. For your safety, everyone, stay seated. When we come to a complete stop here, the platform is going to be on the left. If you are leaving, make sure you have all your belongings with you. Remember your wristband or your ticket. We'll get you back on board the train. Stay seated, everyone, until we come to a complete stop. It's now safe to leave the train from the left side of the car.
I would just help myself.
Right this way, folks. I noticed you were not really picking out a gate, so I'll let you use this one. We have them down there. They're just wild.
Are they going to load coal?
I don't know if there's chicken out here. Okay. They usually do it once in the morning and once in the late afternoon. They're going to call.
here.
Can you take a
What?
picture for us real quick?
Oh, kind of loud in there.
So after completing the roll-up, basically what Grant did was take that bubble that he has on the end of the blowpipe, touch it on the right end, and as he rolls that to the left, again, remember the principle that hot glass would bond with hot glass. Those 30 pieces of glass heat have now attached themselves to the outside, are now attached to the blowpipe. And Grant is going to use some very basic glass techniques to create the bowl. The bowl is going to be made from the bottom up, so you will see the bottom and the sides, and then the very last thing will always be the mouth. What he has to do right now is take these 30 pieces of glass rod and make sure that they are fused together. And right now we still have a lot of bumps and everything like that, and he wants to make sure that there aren't any gaps. And so he's going to be using the reheating chamber and getting that glass nice and hot, and bringing it back and rolling it on the marble table until it all kind of fuses together.
I don't know, the anniversary of the so we have the principal training, we have the apprenticeship, we have a tournament. That's about 5 years. That's another 5 years.
Cool.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
You guys are awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Have a good one.
Hello there.
How you doing?
Good. So, what were you doing right now? I guess.
We're doing a form of letter printing
Oh, okay.
where we're printing this right here.
Mm-hmm.
It is basically a advertisement
Mm-hmm.
for Menlo Laboratory and Edison Illuminating.
Mm-hmm.
These are the two buildings that celebrate Thomas Edison's legacy and the history of the light bulb.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that you're looking at on the press right now,
Mm.
this all had to be typeset by hand.
Hmm.
Each letter is an individual letter,
Yeah.
and then both of those engravings that are making the two pictures, those had to be hand carved.
Mm.
And then in order to print,
Mm-hmm.
a printer would put a piece of paper onto the page press.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. Interesting.
This is black ink.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also forgot to mention that both the master printer
Mhm.
and the young apprentice,
Mm-hmm.
they would work together
Mm-hmm.
to take the page.
Mm-hmm.
They would roll it under the top plate
Mm-hmm.
so that one of them could pull the tail,
Mm-hmm.
and then that would release the press.
Mm. Oh wow. That's actually pretty neat.
And here we have a nice clean print
Mm-hmm.
of Menlo Laboratory and then Edison Illuminating.
Go take a look.
Yes.
Wow. Letters are so clear and clean.
And the reason why they look so clear and clean,
Mhm.
we only need to use just a small amount of ink.
Hmm. Yep, thank you.
You're very
You have a unique voice.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yep, thank you.
Come back soon.
Thank you, you too. Oh, sorry. Yep.
And some days I don't have it in me. Other days I do. And like that's basically
Welcome in. How are we doing today? Good. How are you? I'm doing well.
Oh wow, look at these textiles.
Got a couple of projects going on over here. I'm working on some kitchen towels. And so is our professional weaver. So he's working on some holiday towels, and I'm working on some stuff for next year that we're doing. Here at our shop, we make around around like 400 to 500 items a year for gift shops. And they're all hand woven on our looms.
oh, you have me buy these.
Yes, absolutely, yeah. You can stop by one of our gift shops and check out the things we have. Mostly we do kitchen towels, but we also do lap blankets. Those won't be out until closer to winter though. And those are actually made with the wool from the sheep at Firestone Farm.
Oh wow.
Yeah, cool, right?
Yeah. Very self-sufficient.
Yes, we try to be here. Guys, if you guys have any questions, please let me know. Oh, thank you.
Wow, look at those machines. Complex machines. Back in the day, man. Let's do a close on these.
Yep, we have different shafts on our looms. Will give us different patterns by lifting certain springs. I have
Oh, you're good. Go ahead. Go ahead. You're good. Oh, so many kids coming around this area. Yeah, these things weigh a ton, you know what I mean? Probably more than a ton.
Later on, well, start off with there was a school here, and the school went from kindergarten to 12th grade. And the younger kids would go to school all day. They'd learn to flop plows, harvest, stuff like that. And the older boys would come out here to be machinists, learn to be machinists. The girls would go to the homes to learn domestic skills. So it was until 1955, when the school finally closed, that they were using this for repairing Model Ts, making parts for the locomotives. And since that time, they built storage for the Model Ts, and they built a machine shop also. And then they did the same thing with the roundhouse. When they built the roundhouse, they built a machine shop in the back. Of course, with modern machines, so they didn't need us anymore. So, what we are for today. We used to have retired machinists come in, but then COVID hit, and we haven't seen it since. I think they decided retirement was better than coming to work every couple days. Thank you. Do you have any other questions? You have a good day.
You too.
Whoa. The machine farts.
probably will get 6 months. That's a little too much. Yeah, by the end of COVID, my wife and I were saying things like, honey, did he treat you okay?
Yep. Oh, okay. Thank you. Oh, okay.
What's that?
Okay.
How you guys doing today? I am Sam, and here we go. Welcome to the village. You guys are in the 1923 Model T. I am Sam, and here we go. The car's over 100 years old.
Is this actually the original?
This is an original.
It's still in working condition.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. We have 16 different Model Ts in our system here that we use off and on. And we have great mechanics here. It's a 4-cylinder, 20 horsepower.
Yeah.
And it was built very, very simply, really. And before it had the schematic. He talked to in the blueprint, he talked to his mentor, who was Thomas Edison. He tells him, he shows him a schematic of this car. And Thomas tells him, you need to get a hold of Harvey Firestone. Harvey Firestone will build you the tires for your Model T. Now that's a Model T there, that's a 1914. That's when they started mass producing the Model T in 1914. Now, after doing a little research, Henry Ford figured he needed to find a steel that was lightweight so the car wouldn't sink. Because back in them days, only 10% of our roads were paved, and all this was dirt roads and mud. And the only thing out here were the horse carriages, the horses, the buggies. So all of these had real deep trails where tracks where you had to try to contain the car in the middle. Well, the car was built to go about 45 miles an hour, and we got it governed here to go about 15, but you wouldn't want to go that fast because everything would fall out of your car. So originally, after he got the idea of the car, he started building them in 1908. Now the car sold for about, depending on what car you bought back then, there's a touring car, or if it was just a regular car like this, it was about $850. Now you had $5 added to that fee, you could buy a curtain that goes on the ear and stop the wind from coming in the rain inside the car. So his goal was to drop the price of the Model T so everybody could afford the Model T. At $850 in the beginning, that was a pretty decent price, but it wasn't good enough for any poor. So he started thinking about other ways to lower the price of the car. So he went to a meatpacking company in Chicago. And the meatpacking company is still there, and he's seen the meat coming on conveyor belts. So he was deciding, with the engineers, if we could get our parts, like they got that meat going to that table, to the workers, we could build the car faster. So now his head is spinning. He bought 60 acres in Highland Park, Michigan, and started building the first moving assembly plant based on that idea. But he had to hire some workers, because they were only making $2.85 a day. Now their days could be 8 hours, it could be 15 hours, but that's what they were getting paid, $2.85. He said, I'll give them $5 a day, and we can mass produce the car there. And that's when he hired 13,000 employees and started mass producing the car.
So labor was cheaper than producing.
Yeah, but with all the employees, he said, I'm going to add 3 shifts. So I'm going to cut the shifts to 8 hours and have 3 shifts. A day shift, afternoon shift, and a midnight shift. And that's what he did.
Did the Model T stand for anything?
What does the T stand for?
the Model T was called a Tin Lizzie. The Tin Lizzie back then, that's what the Model T would stand for. He did go through several letters of the vehicle, the Model A, B, C, D, E, F.
They don't always be teen.
And then the Model T was the one he decided that he was going to mass produce. Now it was $850, like I said, for the first Model T. By 1927, the car dropped to $260 for a Model T. You know, and by 1925, half of America had a Model T. So you started seeing hotels coming up, stores coming up, gas stations coming up. The car was built to go about with a gas tank of 10 gallons. Gas tank, it would go 20 miles to the gallon. So you could go 200 miles on one tank of gas. And that was in 27. Then in 28, he started building the Model A again at the Rouge facility. And he opened this in 29. All this historical building. It's a high-low clutch, and it rides kind of like a manual car, but my throttle's right here. The fuel, I have a brake, a reverse, and a high-low clutch. So every time I put the car in neutral, I give it fuel, go down, get it back into gear, high, and then a low. And that's how the car would drive. And again, you can go 200 miles on one tank of gas. So it was a pretty reliable vehicle, high off the ground. The brass is the 1914. This is the 23, and he'll go by symbols of the radiator caps to show you the year of the car when it was built. But you know, he needed the wood for these cars. So under our feet, it's wood, all the floorboard. So what he had to do is find the wood. So what he did was, on the ground, So you know how he got the wood? He bought 300,000 acres up in the UP of Michigan. He built a town up there called Kingsford. Now you guys know what Kingsford stands for? Yes, you guys do. It's charcoal. Kingsford charcoal. Barbecue charcoal. So he built a wood mill up there because he needed the wood and he needed the coal from up there. So he built the wood mill, hospital, schools, police, everything for a little town up there called the town of Kingsford. He bought two 611-foot freighters for ships. One was called Edsel and one was called Benson. So he needed them ships to go up to the Great Lakes, up in the UP to get all that wood and all that ore, come all the way down the Great Lakes and dump them off right here at the Rouge facility for the Model T. Ain't that something?
So it's Kingsport owned by Ford then?
No, it was Dr. Kingsford. That's a relative of his that lived up there. So he bought that property off of that county and him. So when he was done with it in 1927, they were wondering, well, what are we going to do now because we got all this wood here? He said, I'll show you how to make charcoal with the coal and the wood. So he mixed it together, made charcoal. Now they're the top producer of charcoal in the world.
Oh.
Yeah. So, and then he, like I said, then he did this, bought all these buildings in. And it was just amazing how Henry Ford could have kept it all going. How could one man do so much in one lifetime, you know?
It's a thought machine.
I mean, it is incredible. But his wife Clara was a big part of it because the steering wheel was actually on this side, on the right side. The steering wheel.
Oh, really? What change?
Clara asked him, Henry, can you change the steering wheel from the right side to the left side? Because she didn't want to get off on this side no more. It was nothing but mud and horse manure. She wanted to get off on that side because you started getting all the wooden planks like that coming up. So she wanted to get off on that side. He said, sure. So he turns the bracket over and the steering wheel ends up on this side. So, but she was a big force behind Henry Ford. He called her the believer. She believed he could do anything that he set his mind to. And she'd help him all along the way. But she was feisty too. She didn't take too much. Because she owned 51% of the Ford Motor Company, her and Etzel's wife. So when there was a strike in 41, she told Henry that his son Etzel, her son Etzel was sick. And said it's making him sick. If you don't settle that strike, she was willing to sell all the shares of Henry Ford that she owned. If he didn't settle it, the next day that strike was settled. You know, because she had the steering wheel moved, she had the strike settled, and he tells her, I'm building my headquarters here in Michigan Avenue. She said, as long as I can't see it from my back porch of my mansion, which is right across here, we can build it there. So if you go on Michigan Avenue, you'll see that the headquarters is a little tilted sideways. It's not even with Michigan, it's this way, so she wouldn't be able to see it from her back porch. So that's Clara.
Clara was Edison's wife?
Clara was his wife, yeah. Look at these guys, they don't want to get it right. Well, I thank you guys for enjoying your day with us.
There we go.
Sweet. Hit my head.
Bye, guys.
All right.
Okay.
This is Henry Ford's home. Let's go inside, guys. Oh wow.
Yeah, so this is where he was born and raised, and it's as close as we can get it to 1876. So this is when he's 13 years old, and it was actually Henry and his sister Margaret who had renovated the home to bring it back to what it looked like from their memories to this year. So there are actually 3 bedrooms upstairs. Yeah, so he shared the room above their grandfather's room with his brothers. When it was first built, there were 5. This was the last room of the home. So that was a window there, and then that door led out to their back porch and their orchards. Yeah. And then this held everything else that they would use in their daily life. So the parlor was the fanciest room of the home that would have been used for entertaining guests or special occasions. So it would have been closed off most of the time. Henry actually remembers his mother keeping the key in her pocket and keeping that room locked.
Really close, okay.
Yes, he was the oldest of 6 children, and she was not having her kids in there to mess it up when.
So then where were like the leisure, like?
Especially as grandma gets older, like she might take visitors in her room. 1871, there are 7 to 8 people in the home. So his grandmother does pass away early that year, but his mom has a 5th child on the way.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, you know, it's this a little bit. And then they would add on another room in the back, which is now the kitchen. So the kitchen just kept getting pushed back. They just kept adding rooms as the family grew and as they needed it. So it was very convenient not having building codes in 1870s.
I know, that's pretty nice.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about plumbing, you don't have to worry about electricity, so you can just keep adding on the rooms. No. Exactly.
Thank you so much, appreciate that.
They're in a major city, they're doing that, obviously. So like, things like that eventually probably got built up over time and
probably were the reason why he left. He walked straight down the road to Detroit and stayed with an aunt of his, and he would get a job, learn everything, quit, get a new one, learn everything, quit, new one, learn everything, quit, until he had all of those skills in his back pocket. And until he decided that he had enough money to, he would bet on race car races, like almost like the race car races we see now.
See this is this fireplace.
He would bet on that. He could get money from that, and he'd get money from his jobs. According to what I remember reading about. So again, it wasn't always like sunshines and daisies. As I mentioned, he went bankrupt twice before Ford Motor Company was established. So same thing with the race car betting.
Sorry.
You know, things didn't always work out for him, but he did get there.
Kitchen.
I like it. Prosperous.
Prosperous is a good term.
There's where their garden is. Alright, I think that is it, guys. Oh, wow. I always save something best for last, guys. Exit to village store and guest services. Alright guys, I am tired. Alright guys, there's tons of things to look at. Yeah guys, right now I just I gotta end this because this place is too big, too much to see, so yeah, I'm just gonna end this video. Alright guys, thanks for having this tour of me. Alright guys, we are off to Canada right now.
Use the right lane to take the Michigan 10 to Southfield Civic Global Center.
No, look. Welcome to Canada, guys. Welcome to Canada. Look. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm going in the casino right now, guys. Alright, it's dark right now. Can't really see anything. Heading to Canada.
Feels familiar.
Yeah.
Also like a shirt, crappy shirt.
Guess we have arrived. Alright guys, we have just arrived at the hotel. It's been a long drive, guys. I think it was like 6 hour drive. Sitting there. SUV.
the carvings.
Let's try pushing this